The year was 165 AD. The most powerful man in the world sat alone in a dark room. There were no generals, no senators, no advisors. Only the small, wrapped body of his child lying on a stone table before him. It was his fifth child to die. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome and philosopher of discipline, wept. Not politely, not in silence. His shoulders shook, his hands trembled, and tears fell onto the stone floor of the imperial palace. And he did not stop them. Because he understood something most men today misunderstand. Grief is not weakness. Grief is the price of love. And the man who cannot cry is not strong, he is numb. This is the story of what the Stoics truly believed about grief, and why their version of strength looks nothing like the emotional suppression modern culture mistakes for masculinity. Welcome to Timeless Thinkers, where the wisdom of history meets the chaos of today. Everything you think Stoicism teaches about emotion is incomplete. The men who built this philosophy were not cold. They loved deeply, they lost terribly, and they felt it. What made them remarkable was not the absence of pain, it was what they chose to do with it. Somewhere along the way, men were sold a lie. Strong men do not cry. Real men do not break. If it hurts, hide it. So many learned to confuse numbness with strength. From the outside, numbness can look like control, but inside, it is emptiness. The numb man builds walls so high that nothing gets in. Not grief, but not love either. Not pain, but not joy. He feels less and calls it power. The Stoics would have called it fear. Stoicism was never about feeling nothing. It was about feeling everything without being ruled by it. That is a very different kind of strength. When Seneca lost someone he loved, he did not pretend indifference. He plainly wrote, "I am deeply grieved." He admitted that he wept, and then he added something radical. "I am not ashamed of it." One of the founding voices of Stoicism, openly confessing sorrow without apology. Because he understood something most men never learn. Grief expressed moves through you. Grief suppressed hardens inside you. And buried grief does not disappear. It turns into anger, addiction, emotional distance, or a life lived half awake. The man who refuses to cry today may one day discover he cannot feel at all. Marcus Aurelius knew this reality intimately. He and his wife had 14 children. 9 died before reaching adulthood. 9. Imagine ruling an empire and being powerless to save your own children. In Meditations, the private journal he never meant to publish, he wrestled constantly with loss, not as a detached philosopher, but as a grieving father trying to make sense of suffering. He wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change." That sounds calm until you remember who wrote it, a man who buried child after child. He was not minimizing pain, he was trying to survive it. There is a difference between saying loss is nothing because you feel nothing, and saying loss is natural after you have wept and still choose to stand. Marcus Aurelius wept, and then he rose. Not because it did not hurt, but because pain was not the final authority over his life. There is a story about Epictetus that clarifies this even further. A student once came to him in tears after his brother died. The young man apologized for crying. He believed a Stoic should be above such emotion. Epictetus answered simply, "Do not be troubled that you weep. Nature requires it." Nature requires it. Not weakness, not failure, nature. Grief is how the human body processes love that no longer has a place to land. If you lose someone and feel nothing, that is not strength, that is absence. The tears are evidence that something real existed. So what did the Stoics actually teach about grief? First, feel it fully. Do not run from it. Do not numb it. Sit with it. Let the wave move through you. You cannot move beyond what you refuse to experience. Second, do not become it. There is a difference between grieving and building your identity around grief. You are not the wave, you are the shore. The wave passes. Third, return to your duty. After the tears, ask the question Marcus Aurelius asked himself each morning: what is mine to do today? Not forever, just today. And then do it. Not because the pain is gone, but because pain is not your master. Grief changes a man permanently. The man who has loved, lost, wept, and risen is different from the one who has never allowed himself to feel. He is deeper, quieter, less impressed with trivial things, and more moved by what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius was not great in spite of his grief. He was great partly because of it. Untouchable means nothing gets in. Unbreakable means everything gets in, and you endure. The Stoics did not teach us to be untouchable. They taught us to be unbreakable. So when grief rises and the voice in your head tells you to hold it in, remember Marcus Aurelius weeping. Remember Seneca confessing sorrow without shame. Remember Epictetus saying that nature requires it. The strongest men in history cried, not because they were weak, but because they were fully, courageously human. And then they stood up. That is strength that lasts.